Hi, Tim. Are you there?
Hi there, Jessica. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing? I'm just
Very
turning
well,
on my
thank you.
turn on my video here, but we won't be using the video for the podcast.
Yep, no worries. No, fine. That's absolutely fine. Otherwise,
Okay.
if that's a real background, I'll be very jealous if you're going to be using that
I
for the actual
know.
podcast.
That would be nice, right? I wish I
Definitely.
was there.
Oh my God, yeah, yeah, yeah. At least you've got the opportunity of being quite close to it over there. It would take me, I think about 6 months to be able to get over to a Caribbean island at the moment. I think the way things are over here.
Oh, yeah, I know. Nobody would want
Yeah.
to take us there. The transportation would be tough.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, how things anyway? All good over your side of the pond?
Yeah, yeah. I'm in Redwood City, California, where
Okay.
all the
Yep.
fires are. So
Ah,
it's a
wow.
little, it's a little
Yeah.
smoky out there.
Yeah, keeping safe though. You well out of harm's way.
Oh yeah, we're
Yeah.
fine. It's
Oh,
just the
good,
air and the
good, good.
heat and all that
Wow.
good stuff.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
where
It
are
looks
you
pretty
at?
crazy. I'm literally about an hour outside of London.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, over in the UK. So yeah, yeah, not as exciting as kind of fires and all the craziness over here. We're just all pretty much in lockdown and just
Yeah.
slowly starting to come out of our caves now after the last kind of 5 months. So yeah, it's been weird, but yeah, I don't think it's been as dramatic over here as it has been over with you guys, shall we say?
Yeah. 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 It's been
Yeah,
a little crazy.
a little bit,
I'm
a
glad you
little
guys
bit.
are doing well over there.
Yeah. It's the typical kind of British stiff upper lip is just kind of
Oh,
right,
yeah.
okay, just bunker down, get on with it, and then we'll all come out and we'll all be making jokes about it in the next couple of months. So yeah,
I hope
we'll be
so.
fine over here. Yeah,
I hope so. I hope it does. It only takes another few months.
yeah.
So,
Hopefully,
yeah. But yeah, I
yeah.
liked your, thanks for filling out the form and
No
thanks
problem,
for meeting with me.
no problem. My
Um,
absolute pleasure. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So I'll just tell you a little bit of background about myself, and
yeah,
then
perfect.
answer any questions you have, and then we'll get
Yeah,
rolling if that's
yeah.
okay.
No, absolutely. Yep. Fine with me.
All right, good. So I started this because I'm a brain injury, traumatic brain injury educator for
Oh,
the
okay. Yep.
veterans and the military, and I saw
Okay.
that a lot of people were, surviving and thriving after brain
Mm,
injury, and other people would just
mm,
decline. And it was a lot about mindset. And so I
mm.
wanted to start the podcast to learn what makes people resilient after challenging events. So that's kind
Yeah.
of my background.
Yeah,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah,
Yeah, as I said, obviously in my information that I sent across to you, pretty much my life is an open book. Lots of experience, a lot of funny experience, a lot of traumatic experiences that I've used then as catalyst, like catalyst for change to make certain changes in my life.
yeah,
But also as well using them for kind of comedy purposes and things like that. I find that a lot of comics find a lot of funniness from pain. A great Robin Williams quote that it's kind of people that are inside kind of sad and lonely know what
yeah,
it's like to feel like that, so they don't want anyone else to feel like that. That's why they turn to comedy, to make everyone else kind of feel good about themselves and stuff
yeah,
like that. But yeah, so it was really just a great opportunity. Again, it's just I'm starting a podcast as well, hopefully soon. Obviously, just trying to get some experience of kind of the industry as well. So yeah, I think it's. I mean, as I said, I went through quite a weird, traumatic divorce, and then kind of that was the point where I kind of literally went bam, hit rock bottom, and then I was like, right, okay, I need to
yeah,
pull up on this, otherwise you're going to spiral out of control.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
it's then kind of trying to learn from that experience and not knowing that person you were when you got into that situation and knowing what it took to get out of it and all the hard work makes you think you
yeah,
never want to kind of fall back into it. But there are traps daily that can kind of make you fall back into bad habits and bad ways, and kind of it's a constant check. So it's kind of a kind of a want and a need for change, but it's a something that will continue to go on and kind of just snowball and keep
yeah.
going. And every day's a wake up and just right, keep on the straight and narrow, and away you go.
Yep. That's good. That's
Yeah,
good.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And so
So
that's wonderful. And so
mm,
you saw the questions I'm going to ask, right? So you feel good about those. Let me just read them for you
yeah,
just so
just go
you're more
through again. Yeah,
comfortable.
yeah.
So tell me more about the event that helped
Mm,
make you who you are, which it sounds
mm-hmm.
like you had some trauma going on in your life,
Yeah.
and how did that teach you about
Mm,
resiliency?
mm-hmm.
How was it an event, that event, a catalyst for change in
Mm,
your life? How did it catapult you into the person you are today?
yeah.
Um, and how did it change your life for the better if it did?
Mm, yeah.
And teach you a bunch of lessons? What tools
Mm,
did you learn along the way? because people love to hear about tools and like, and then at the end, I usually ask, so what do you do daily to keep you in the right
Mm.
mindset?
Yeah.
Those kind of things.
Yeah.
And then if you're doing any work with others, like you said, your comedy, that's really interesting. So
Yeah.
you're paying it
Yeah.
forward, helping others, cheering people up.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And
Yeah.
as I said, it's doing things like this as well that just, it's a lot of the ones that I've done have been kind of along similar themes as well. So it's
Okay.
if I would have had the opportunity to listen to someone that I think that would have gone through something very similar to me, it would have been a great help. So I think just passing on knowledge, just passing on not advice, as I said, it's not something that I proclaim to be kind of the greatest person at, but it's something that I feel as though I've got on top of now. And I think it's, if I can get to this point, then a lot of other people can get to this point as well.
Yeah, that's very good. Very good. Okay. So,
Cool.
so you ready to get started?
Yeah. Do you want me to
All
turn the
right.
video off?
Yeah, let's turn the video off just to
Yeah.
save bandwidth. Okay.
No worries. Okay, stop the
All
video.
right.
There
There
we
we
go.
go. All right.
Drink quickly.
All right. Ready and
Go.
okay. So thank you so much, Tim, for coming on my podcast, Catalyst for Change, Stories of Resiliency. Can you tell me about some of the things that have happened in your life that have been a catalyst for change?
Yeah, it's one of those ones that it can be probably stemmed back to a number of events that were snowballing, and then eventually happened as it was one that started off with kind of living up to other people's expectations of me. So not really getting the chance to, or the confidence in myself to follow my own path. That kind of snowballed then, and I was always kind of a people pleaser. So I was always trying to make other people happy, and other people's happiness was more important than my own. Then got into a relationship, went traveling, had a great time, got married, and again, very much still putting other people's thoughts and wants before my own. And then unfortunately it ended in quite a horrible divorce, where I came back and just found that the house had been cleared out while I'd been away working on business. No kind of note, no nothing. So that was kind of the point where you kind of hit rock bottom. So I would say for a catalyst for change, that was the point where everything kind of came to a halt. And that's when I needed to really kind of start looking at myself, looking at my life, what had happened, and then evaluating it, and then trying to bounce back in a positive way.
Wow. So you came back from a business trip and everything out in your house was cleared out and you were asking yourself, what happened?
Yeah, basically,
Yeah.
yeah. I
Oh my
came
goodness.
back and I'd sat on the sofa, and it had been a longer kind of business trip away. I used to work on events across the globe, so I'd come back from Paris. We'd been working there, and I literally kind of sat down, and it was one of those ones where you just walk through the front door, throw the bags down, sit on the sofa, and just kind of close your eyes and go, "Oh, thank goodness that's all over and done with." And then kind of
Yeah.
45 minutes later, you kind of come around and you kind of getting your bearings a bit, and then I started looking around the house, and I was kind of like, "Wow,
Oh my goodness.
I swear I had more stuff than this." And
Yeah.
then literally, yeah, it was literally then walk around the house, and yeah, it was yeah, it was as if I was just moving into the place basically, and all that was left was kind of my clothes and yeah.
And the
So
sofa
yeah, it
that
was
you're sitting on.
exactly,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I hope the sofa was still there,
Oh
otherwise
my
that was
goodness.
great levitating that I was doing on the
Yeah.
sofa.
You might be after all that has happened.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. It did feel as though I was kind of floating for a while, going through that. But it was one of those ones that it hit home, and it was, you have to, it hit home, and it became a reality. There was no way that I could change it. It was quite clear that there was kind of no coming back to this.
Yeah.
So it was about a very quick evaluation of life and the way that I was. Obviously, I was not totally blameless in the whole separation, but it was more of a, again, trying to put everyone first and trying to work to provide a good family environment and things like that. So it was, I was doing everything with intentions, and just kind of may have lost sight of the work life balance, but that was
Yeah.
I feel a conversation could have done just enough there to kind of put us back on balance. But when someone has some other idea or some other
Yeah. Their mindset.
exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but it's, yeah, I said no resentment across to it. It's, I wouldn't be the person
Yeah.
sat here talking to you today if that didn't happen to me. So yeah, it's as much as it was horrible, it was I'm very glad that it did happen now.
So it made you change. And so what did you learn from it? Sounds like work-life balance was a challenge, and that was the reason for
Well,
this
yeah.
happening. And yeah. So what changed? How did you
What
change
changed?
after that?
It was taken, to be honest with you, Jessica, it was taking a real hard look at my life and just looking at what was important to me. And first and foremost, being very honest with who, what did I want? I'd never actually sat down and thought. I'd always done everything to kind of, yes, I'd kind of furthered my own career, but it was always with the thought of someone else in mind. So it was the first opportunity that I'd had in my life to kind of sit down and go, right, okay, what do I actually want? Who, and kind of really delve deep into what was causing me the anxiety, what was causing me to go off the rails and things like that. It was a process of having to really kind of just strip back who I was and then kind of go, right, okay, who's Tim Dennis, and then build him up then, and spent some time with my dad kind
Mm.
of straight after the event that had happened. And just, yeah, just kind of, it was more of a kind of like a business plan more than anything. Just kind of, it was an instant kind of flicking of a switch of just like, right, okay, this has happened to you. You can't let this happen to you before. It's not your fault, but
Yeah.
now's the time to be the person that you want to be and enjoy your life, kind of get with someone that wants to be a part of your life, and it's not all one way. So it was, yeah, it was a very steady change, but it was a very dramatic kind of screeching of the brakes, kind of handbrake turn of everything that was going on in my life. Moving back home and things like that kind of settled me. But yeah, it was, I
And
wouldn't
you,
say there was one thing that you could kind of put your finger on, but it was a sudden change in heart, change in personality, change in, I think, want and desire as well would be very important.
yeah. Yeah. So you didn't need to like be going on all the business trips anymore. Did you still stay with that job, or did
Um, I
you change everything?
I did for a couple of years, and then that then got too much to me because again, it was a living out of a suitcase. It
Yeah.
was a constant job that you were on the go. So maybe it was in that I didn't have enough chance to maybe process it as much as I should have.
Yeah.
And it's one of those ones that you kind of, you have all that commitment in a relationship, and then that relationship finishes, and the next thing you do is just throw all your energy into the next biggest commitment, and that generally is work.
Yeah.
So it was kind of, you threw yourself into that, and I think there was probably times where I should have kind of asked for help. I should have not been, not embarrassed, but I didn't think I was at the point where I needed to ask for help. I thought that I could kind of plod along and kind of get everything realigned. And I had a great plan, but maybe didn't give myself, and I think it's very important when people go through things like this, is to give yourself the time and space to get with the program, kind of
Hmm.
set yourself these targets, set yourself a program, but give yourself the time to work towards that. I was very much kind of trying to spin plates basically of work, emotions. I had a friend that passed away just afterwards as well, so dealing with that, dealing with kind of friends that were mourning and weren't coping with mourning as well as I was, and it was a lot of things going on. But I
Yeah.
think, yeah, I think one of the biggest things I wish, if I could have looked back on it, and you say kind of what did you learn from it, I think looking back on it, yeah, to take some time out, I think, to kind of process everything. I don't think you can process something that's that life changing
Yeah. Yeah.
on the go. I think you need to sit down and put some serious time and effort into processing it.
And when you stopped, you worked with that job for a couple more
Mm.
years, but when you stopped and things got more quiet for you, did you have a chance to process that?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I processed
Yeah.
that, and it was one of those ones that where as soon as I stopped the job, I stopped it for a reason, because this was about 18 months, 2 years later, I'd met someone else that I'd known for a while that lived back in my hometown, so I moved back there. Um, and yeah, it was one of those ones that was the decision that again changed my life again, from not a state of recovery, but a state of kind of redemption and kind of getting my life back on track. I felt my life was
Yeah.
back on track, and then I met my new partner, and then my life then changed, pivoted again in another great angle, and stepped up again. So it was, instead of kind of coming out and just breaking even and being happy with the person that you were, and you were on a level that you were
Hmm.
before the trauma, I was able then to, with the support of my partner and then some great friends and things around me, was able to step on now and then start doing things like this and speaking to people and offering help to see if it's, to make people realize that it's not just them that are out there suffering with these sort of issues. There are people that go through things, and as I
Hmm.
mentioned to you before the call, if I would have had the opportunity to um, listen to stuff like this, or kind of have people around that would be open and willing to talk about this, then I
Yeah.
think it would have been a great help. But yeah, I think stuff that you're doing is a fantastic help to people to see that there is a chance for people to change.
Yeah. And you mentioned that your father was suffering from cancer. Now, how did that help you even further on your recovery path and redemption, as you say?
Yeah, So after all this had happened, my father passed away about just shy of 2 years ago now, and went through about an 18-month battle with cancer. We knew from a very kind of early, from the first diagnosis, that it was stage 4, so there was no coming back from it. It was all about time management.
Hmm.
But that also as well taught me a lot, that life is for living. My dad was very adamant that my life, my mum's life, my partner's life shouldn't stop when he passed away. It was, everything was done for us looking at the future, and we've dealt with it as well as can be. Some people have said that we've dealt with it really well, but I think we've been very pragmatic about it from the offset. We were a
Yeah.
very close family, no brothers or sisters or anything like that, and all the family lived about kind of 2 hours away, so we were a very close family growing up, just the three of us.
Hmm.
And yeah, it taught me that it's okay to see people suffer, but you can't dwell on it. I think that people want you to carry on with your life. I've seen a lot of people that have gone through bereavement and dealt with it in different ways,
Hmm.
and some people have not dealt with it possibly in the correct way, and then it's come back to bite them later
Yeah.
on, kind of 5-10 years down the line. We've got kind of friends of family that are just wanting their life away now to wait to be with their partner. So it's, I don't
Yeah.
think that you only get, my dad was always very an advocate of one saying, is that you're here for a good time, not a long time.
Yeah.
So it's, yeah, you can't kind of dwell on things. So again, it taught me, and I've become more of an open person since my father has passed away. I think that was the one then that kind of set me on not a different path, but kind of the straight path of. He always had this saying of me being the oldest teenager in town, because again, always liked to party, always liked to enjoy myself. But I've become, in my father's passing, I've become more like him than I thought, and I think his passing has allowed me to be truthfully more like myself, because I think I always lived in his shadow and was always very worried of what he said. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's sad that he's not here, but I know that him passing has enabled me to be a better person.
Yeah, it sounds like you have done a lot of healing from that. And you
Yeah.
mentioned, yeah, you mentioned you use comedy as a way of healing and giving back to others. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah. I've always had the opinion of, I'd rather people laugh with me than at me, and that's kind of true. But I just talk about a lot of life stories. I talk about kind of what life's been like since my father's passed away. A lot of things have changed. As I said, I used the divorce in my first comedy sketch. It was all about kind of going back out and trying online dating, and how it was different to where I was kind of 10, 15 years ago, the last time I actually went out kind of properly dating. So yeah, I try and use the trauma. Again, it's laughter is the best medicine.
Yeah.
And people that are not, I wouldn't say that I'm depressed, but have suffered with anxiety, suffered with kind of panic attacks, suffered
Yeah.
with lots of different kind of issues that maybe have been not as definitely not as bad as kind of some people get. So I certainly don't want to be playing the martyr, but I know what it's like to be sad. I know what it's like to be upset. I know what it's like to be lonely. And I find that if someone can make you laugh, you'll just cheer up. So it's something that I find the weirdest things that happen to me, the funnier stories that I can create. So yeah, it's a great technique, but
Yeah.
sometimes it's a difficult one to gauge sometimes, because some things there are obviously talking about people with kind of illnesses like my father. There were some great stories that we shared, some funny moments, but yeah, it's obviously you have to be kind of tactful. But yeah, I have found it personally that if you can't laugh at it, then yeah, there's something wrong. I think it's
Yeah. And where are you doing this comedy? Are you doing this at a club, or like are you just, yeah, tell me more
different.
about
Well,
that.
yeah, at the moment, unfortunately, my poor fiance has got to deal the brunt of it while we're during lockdown over here in the UK. So
Yeah.
yeah, she's the toughest audience of all, because she has to hear it kind of 24/7, permanently over the last 5 months. But yeah, I do it in kind of so on a few comedy clubs also as well, do some kind of festivals, do some comparing at festivals. So I'm always trying it out, and yes, hopefully going to be starting off my own podcast later on this year, if not early next year. Obviously with this COVID had a slight delay,
Yeah.
but again, yeah, it'll be testing out new material and just talking about life stories on there. So yeah, hopefully we'll
Good.
get that sorted.
Some comic relief on your new podcast that's coming out, it sounds like.
Absolutely, yes, yeah.
Nice.
I've got some great friends, some great stories,
Yeah.
friends from throughout all of my childhood, all of my adult life as well. So yeah, I've got some work colleagues coming on here. So we'll cover a variety of topics, but it's more about, again, just getting people talking, making sure people feel free that they can talk about anything, that it's okay to talk. It's you can have some fun with it, and life shouldn't be taken too seriously. It's everyone likes to
Yeah.
talk, everyone likes to chat, but it's yeah, you may talk and ramble on about some rubbish for half an hour, but if someone can take a couple of minutes away of value of what you discuss, then it's worthwhile.
Yeah, that sounds great. Now, what do you do every day to, keep you in the right mindset, Tim?
It's I've become one of these people that I have to get up and get my mindset early before the working day. So that may not even be kind of a workout or something like that. I try and work out. I play a bit of golf, but mainly my daily routine is get up. I like to sit down, kind of spend half an hour just going through my emails, just making sure there's nothing important that's come in overnight that I need to deal with straight away. But just having some me time, just making sure that my workspace is clear, my headspace is clear. If I've got the chance to do a workout, then great. But just making sure that my environment just feels clean and tidy, just to be able to kind of get on with the day. I feel as though if I can plan my day out, then my day goes quickly. My day is more productive. I feel as though if I'm in a rush in the morning for whatever reason, then my day continues to be like that as well. So
Yeah.
I think getting structure and trying to stick to it in my routine has been one of the most important things in getting from where I was to where I am today.
Yeah, so structure sounds really important. And you
Yeah.
mentioned anxiety and panic attacks have been something you've had to deal with in the past. And so structure, it seems like for some people it really helps. So is that in the case for you?
Absolutely, yeah. And it was one of those ones that when I started having these, it wasn't such a common thing, and there wasn't so much awareness of it. So
Yeah.
you were having these kind of panic attacks, and you didn't know the reason why, or kind of you were too ashamed to admit that you were
Yeah.
having these. Not necessarily that you needed help, but just to make people aware. And I think that awareness is key at the moment. And it's great to see the drive for people that are suffering with kind of mental health issues, that it's key about awareness. It's if
Yeah.
people were aware of it, I made people aware of it, and as soon as I did that, it felt like the burden had been lifted off of me. But yeah, it's just making people aware. I think that the more awareness and talking to people about it is great. I wish that I would have spoke to people earlier about it.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's people, especially nowadays, are more than happy to sit down and talk to you. If you're having a bad day, you had to kind of, again, like I mentioned before the call, the British stiff upper lip,
Yeah.
kind of get on with it and carry on with it. But now people are more able to open up and just say
It's
that,
so
yeah,
nice to see how things are changing with mental health and that type of thing.
exactly, yeah. And I think that long may it continue. I think there's a long way to go still.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's one of those ones that I wish that, as I said before, people could have been doing this 6-7
Years.
years ago when I started
Yeah.
to go through it, and I wouldn't have felt as bad or kind of ashamed. But yeah, I think that people are taking great steps, and as I said before, obviously, kind of people like yourself that are doing podcasts like this to kind of spread the message are
Yeah.
a great benefit to people.
Yeah. Very good. Well, can you think of anything that we may not have covered that you want to make sure to mention?
Um, I don't think so. I think we've kind of probably covered most things there. I think I've probably talked
Yeah.
too much there, but
No, you
yeah,
did
it's
great.
just, I think it's just, yeah, just don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to laugh at things more than
Yeah.
most. Yeah, don't be afraid to turn that frown upside down and kind of put a smile on things. I think that people are taking things very seriously, and so they should at the moment. But also as well, there's a lot of people out there that if you can just put a smile on their face, that will make their day. So yeah, that would be my
Yeah.
words of wisdom for the podcast.
Well, thank you so much, Tim. It was really a pleasure speaking to you today.
No problem. My absolute pleasure. Thank you very much for your time.
All right. Well, that went good, Tim.
Cool.
And
Brilliant.
I'll have all of your contact information where people can find you on social media in the show notes.
Cool.
So,
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Absolutely perfect. If you need anything else or any more information, then please let me know.
I sure will. And then I'll look forward to hearing your podcast as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. As soon as I get it up and running, I will send you a link and yeah, hopefully
Perfect.
try and persuade you to come on as a guest.
Yeah, that'd be great. And then I'll post this and I'll tag you on Facebook. So
Okay.
I may add
Perfect.
you as a friend at some point
Yeah. Yeah. No
so I can
problem.
tag you in it.
Perfect. Sounds good.
All right. Have a great day.
And you enjoy the rest of your day.
Okay. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.